This story out of Virginia has got the Democrats in panic mode and losing their mind because they know situations like this help to expose the radical extremist ideology of that party. And when you get finished with this video, I assure you, if you were on the fence about if the Democrat Party was an extremist group that entices and encourages violence and could help the whole thing just explode in this country, you will at the end of this video. Now, the person we're talking about is the candidate for Attorney General, Jay Jones, out of Virginia. And this story has been horrific with the things that this man said. As you see right here, the title of this article, Virginia AG candidate said Republican lawmaker deserved two to the head in surface text. Not only that, he also stated that he wished that their little ones, allegedly, he wished that their little ones would pass away in the arms of the mother. So not only am I going to show you the text messages that he sent, but I'm going to show you the follow-up and the backlash and how not only are Democrat politicians, some turning their backs on him, you've got the lamestream media, the left-wing radical propaganda machine, also calling for this man to do something you probably couldn't even believe. But we're going to get into this. So as you can see right here, and we're going to start it off with this video telling us about this individual.
Race is under fire. Virginia's attorney general race is under fire from both Republicans and Democrats. We've learned that Jay Jones sent messages to a former colleague joking about the former Virginia House Speaker. Republican delegate Carrie Coyner brought these allegations to light 3 years after the messages were first sent to her. Tonight, Republican candidate for governor Winsome Earl-Sears held a news conference in Fredericksburg about these messages. Take a listen.
Jay Jones is the poster child for the Democratic establishment, and yet here he fantasizes about murdered little children lying lifeless in their mother's arms. It is not enough for Jay Jones to drop out of the race. Let me be clear. Spamberger's continuing support for Jay Jones is also disqualifying her for office.
Now, Jones has released a statement saying, in part, quote, "I take full responsibility for my actions, and I want to issue my deepest apology to Speaker Gilbert and his family. Reading back those words made me sick to my stomach. I'm embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry." Jones is running against the sitting Attorney General, Jason Miyares. Election day is on November 4th, but early voting is already underway.
See, he's full of crap. What he's sorry about is the fact that he got caught. Now, just in case you're unfamiliar with who Jay Jones is, and I'm not going to play much of this, just a few seconds, but I'm doing this for a reason. I want you to listen to something that he says, and then I'm going to follow it up with what's really going on. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Jay Jones, Democrat running for Attorney General of Virginia, and we're going to talk about public safety. As the son of prosecutors and the father of 2 young boys, I've always believed that keeping our community safe is the most important responsibility of any Virginia leader. That's why, as a delegate, I increased public safety funding by more than 20%, ensuring that law enforcement and our first responders have the resources and training they need to succeed.
You know what's funny to me is how these Democrat radicals think that we have a short memory or that we don't know and remember that it was just a few years ago they were trying to defund the police.
Policing in schools and all the rest, that perhaps we can shuffle some of that money around.
Suck it up. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Mayor Eric Garcetti saying, take some of the money from policing, about $150 million.
I applaud Eric Garcetti for doing what he's done.
Not only do we need to disinvest in police, but we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
So yes, defund your butts. Defund you.
Yes, I support the reallocation of resources from NYP.
The entire party, with the exception of one, who we consider to be one of the wackiest people in the party, I mean, mentally, which was John Fetterman. This man, after having a stroke, makes more sense and has more logic than the entire Democrat Party. But they were calling to defund the police. Wow, they all had their personal police details of 20, 30, 40, or even as high, allegedly, as Mayor Brandon Johnson out of Chicago, who allegedly has a police unit that protects he and his wife in what he calls the safe streets of Chicago.
And your wife, Stacy, be willing to cut your security detail from 150 sworn police officers and put those police officers back on the street where they can protect real Chicagoans?
So we're very proud of the work that we're doing collectively to ensure that our police officers have the resources that they need. As I've said repeatedly, it's policing and affordable housing, it's policing and youth employment, it's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's going to take all of us, the business community, the philanthropic community. We're working collectively with Cook County government, the state of Illinois, the state's attorney as well. The volume of cases that we are pushing towards the state's attorney so that we can continue to close out these cases as we really drill down with our detectives division as they solve crime, as they get the evidence over to the state's attorney, gives her the ability to make the prosecution so that we can continue to deter crime in the city of Chicago. That's a holistic approach that we're taking. Thank you.
But let's get off into Jay Jones' text messages. This is what he said while he was talking. Her name was Carrie Cordier or Carrie Cointner. And I apologize if I got her name wrong. But they say nice things about everyone, LOL. If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves, send them out a wash and something. They say Jay Jones, 3 people, 2 pieces of ammunition. You know how YouTube is. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler. Put Gilbert in the crew with 2 of the worst people you know, and he gets 2 to the noggin every time. Jay, please stop. LOL. Oh, okay. It really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death on them. You weren't simply asking questions, and you know it. I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. You weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. There isn't. I point blank asked you more than 3 times, and you dug in that you meant it. I honestly am questioning a lot today. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. So this man is hoping that the Speaker of the House in Virginia, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash out or a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it really helps spread the video out. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're already subscribed or you're subscribing now, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all. YouTube has issues with getting notifications out, but when you select all, YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new videos, which is Todd Gilbert. Now, this is the man who they were speaking about. This is Todd Gilbert with the Republican Party, with the Speaker of the House there, and the top attorney, the prosecutor. Okay. Now, these are the people, these are the family members, and these are the little boys that he was wishing death on in the arms of this woman, Jennifer Gilbert, and that this man, Todd Gilbert, got 2 to the noggin. That's how radical they are. So his cries about, oh, you know, it's just sick to my stomach, blah, 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 is bullcrap. He's sick that he got caught. Check this out.
People always told me that your priorities come into focus when you become a parent. And my highest priority will always be the safety of our families.
You said, according to the article, I'm quoting, Gilbert's wife could watch her own child die in her arms so that Gilbert might reconsider his political views. I can think of nothing more horrific than a mother having to hold her dying child. How can Virginians trust a man who said something so horrific, so callously?
Well, again, I am so deeply, deeply sorry for what I said. And I wish that it hadn't happened, and I would take it back if I could.
So what he's really saying is, hey, I'm deeply sorry that I was exposed by Carrie. And if I could take back sending the text messages and just had said it verbally to her, I would. Now, of course, that's not what he said, but that's what I'm paraphrasing. I'm getting from that statement, because you know Democrats, like I do, he's not apologetic about that. Matter of fact, he really wants to double down on it, but he knows that it would help destroy their campaign even that much more. As a matter of fact, the candidate for governor who's running against Winsome Sears, who you just heard speak, the governor there is backing this guy up, doubling down. As a matter of fact, the governor's on record telling crowds of people, yeah, fuel your rage. Let this fuel your rage. See what happens with Democrats, and mark my words, it is going to happen. Just like Governor Shapiro's house was firebombed by a radical leftist, these Democrats don't understand how bad something is until it happens to them. It's just like, I don't know if you remember when that bus of illegal immigrants was sent to Martha's Vineyard. When I tell you, before a Hispanic person could even say gracias, they had bagged lunches, handed it to them people, and those buses was out of there, never to see Martha's Vineyard again. But the crazy part about Martha's Vineyard is that most, if not all, of those rich liberal extremists are probably the loudest ones. Oh, we need to let immigrants in, and throwing money at Democrat campaigns for this open borders, because they know that the flooding of illegal immigrants in the neighborhoods will never touch them. Defunding the police wasn't talking about them, but you've got low IQ voters who fall for this crap every time. Now, how are the Democrats being exposed? And wait till you see the video clips that I'm going to show you about what the media is doing. But you've got Tim Kaine. Now, who is Tim Kaine? Tim Kaine was Hillary Clinton's running mate when she ran for president. Tim Kaine is another radical left-wing extremist, but he's out of Massachusetts. This man is a stone-cold psychopath, allegedly. But check out what he says when faced with the text messages that Jay Jones sent out. Now, they always talk about, oh, we need to cool the temperature. It's both sides. It's not both sides. It's one. We haven't had, you don't hear anybody on MAGA or Republican side going to schools and hurting children, going out there hurting people. We don't agree with abortion. We don't agree with transgender story hour. We don't agree with Black Lives Matter. But from what I hear and what I see, there's nobody with a loudspeaker calling for the head of BLM who defrauded people out of $60 million allegedly to have their life taken. Nobody's calling for illegal immigrants to lose their lives. That's the difference. Democrats are. Check out Tim Kaine.
Do you think Jay Jones should drop out of the race in Virginia?
Jay has apologized. The statements that he made were indefensible, but I've known Jay Jones for 25 years. I think those statements were not in character, and he has apologized. I wish other people in public life would sincerely apologize for stuff. So, no, I still am a supporter.
Senator, are you worried that the controversy will impact other Democrats on the ballot?
I think it's a significant challenge for Jay. I think he's got to explain it in ways that Virginia can see who he really is, but I don't think it's going to affect others.
Real quick, I want to take a moment to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video and a company I'm happy to be in partnership with, and that's Chapter. When my mother turned 65 and was looking to get on her Medicare plan, she was bombarded with phone calls and with spam emails, and everybody she spoke with was just trying to sell her stuff rather than help her. And one great thing about Chapter is that Chapter's agents are some of the best in the industry, and they give you an unbiased perspective, making sure you have the best Medicare plan available. I mean, imagine this. Wouldn't this suck to find out next year that you've been paying for a plan that no longer covers your prescriptions, that no longer has your doctors in network? That would suck. And in less than 20 minutes on the phone call, the agents over at Chapter can help you make sure that if you got the best Medicare plan, great, you stay where you are. But if there's other plans that are better suited for what you're looking for, they're going to help you make sure you've got the best plan that works for you. Seniors are saving as much as $1,100. That's $1,100 a year with the help of Chapter. And I'm sure you can find better things to do with that $1,100 in your pocket than to give it away for no reason. So call Chapter with the number there on the screen or visit the website. And either which way you go, make sure that you tell them that Brian Maxwell sent you. Why is it that the Democrats love illegal immigrants? They love criminals while calling themselves the party that's supposed to be high on morals. That's a bunch of bullcrap. Now, check out what President Trump had to say about it. Then I'm going to get into this video clips with the lamestream media. It has just come out that the radical left lunatic Jay Jones, who is running against Jason Miyares, the great attorney general in Virginia, made sick and demented jokes, if they were jokes at all, which were not funny, and that he wrote down and sent around to people concerning the taking of the lives of a Republican legislator, his wife, and their children. Abigail Spanberger, who is running for governor, is weak and ineffective and refuses to acknowledge what this lunatic has done. Even Democrats are saying it is resignation from campaign territory. Democrat Jay Jones should drop out of the race immediately. And the people of Virginia must continue to have a great attorney general in Jason Miyares, who, by the way, has my complete and total endorsement. Jason will never let you down. So you got President Trump saying this person needs to be out of there. But not only that, check out these stories of what Jay Jones has been responsible for in the community of Virginia. And if he's made the top prosecutor, even though he's never prosecuted a case at all, that state is in for doomsday. Check this out.
A male student sexually assaulted a girl classmate inside of a restroom at Stonebridge High School. He was transferred to Broad Run for the next school year, where he assaulted another girl.
It was a cover-up. The schools covered up the crime because radicals like Jay Jones take the criminal side. As a state delegate, Jay Jones passed a law that ended mandatory reporting of sexual battery in our schools. Jay Jones is too soft to be Attorney General.
I'm Jason Miyares, candidate for Attorney General, and I sponsored this ad.
So this man was supporting legislation that made it easy for criminals to not only be released, but to recommit the crimes that they were arrested for initially. But that's not where it stops there. Wait till you hear and see what the police department, what they've got together and done. Check this out.
Daniel Vanover was a convicted sex offender. Rap sheet as long as your arm. State law let him out early. And he started an 11-year-old girl. He should have still been in jail. He got out early because of Jay Jones' law. Even sex predators get out early. I had to arrest this guy again because of Jay Jones. Jay Jones is just too damn soft.
I'm Jason Miares, candidate for Attorney General, and I sponsored this ad.
So as you can see, the sheriff departments are coming out, but it doesn't stop there. I want you to check this out right here. These are two different things, and then I'm going to show you what the lamestream media said. This is the VA Fraternal Order of Police. They demand that Jay Jones drop out of the race. The Fraternal Order of Police is aware of recent text message scandal involving you, the Democrat candidate for Attorney General. While the incident may have happened in 2022, this conduct has no place in our society or democracy, especially from an elected official who is running to be the top prosecutor in Virginia. The men and women of the Virginia Fraternal Order unequivocally condemn these violent text messages sent by you about a political opponent and his family. We support everyone's right to respectful and peaceful discussions with a political figure. However, the calling for any type of violence is unacceptable. We have seen this type of rhetoric. We have seen what this type of rhetoric has caused in other parts of the country. The men and women of law enforcement work tirelessly to combat the violence you wished on a fellow Virginian and his family. Therefore, the members of the Virginia Fraternal Order of Police believe that you, Jay Jones, are unfit for the office of Attorney General of Virginia. Now, that's a Fraternal Order of Police. Check this out. This here is the Virginia Law Enforcement Sheriffs. The Virginia Law Enforcement Sheriffs Association represents the interests of the 86 sheriffs across the state that provide primary law enforcement services. We are aware that you are running for public office as Attorney General, which is the chief law enforcement officer in the state of Virginia. Our association has seen the text message in which you call for violence against a family to include his young children. Furthermore, it is alleged that you stated that if more police lives were taken, it would reduce shootings of civilians. This call for violence against a family of the Commonwealth of Virginia and law enforcement is disgusting and unacceptable. We will not follow an individual who has made such vile statements against citizens and the men and women in uniform who work hard every day, risking their lives to combat the violence that you advocated against them. Sir, you need to hold yourself accountable and immediately withdraw from the Attorney General race. So you got the sheriffs and the police, because this man said if more police were taken down, that they wouldn't be going after people. And think about something. The police aren't out here just going after Americans and taking their lives. These Democrats, these radical extremists are taking the position that illegal immigrants have more priority for safety, have more priority for government goods, have more priority for healthcare than Americans. And how anybody can't see this means that they don't want to see it. Now, check this out. You know, when you've lost Morning Joe, which is the most radicalized network in the world, I believe even in freaking China or in Russia, which are both socialist countries, ran under dictatorship, communist countries, ran under dictatorship, and state-run, government-ran TV. MSNBC is more of a propaganda arm for the Democrat Party than either one of those countries could have, and they don't even hide it anymore. It's called opinionated journalism or advocacy journalism, opinionated journalism. It means screw the facts, just give your opinion on the story and spin it any way you want. Do you know that MSNBC never has Republican guests on there? They bring Democrats on there. CNN at least try to be a little fair and balanced, but check this out.
Or text messages, horrible. I didn't want to read them out loud. I'm wondering how the text messages.
Deeply disturbing messages that have been swiftly condemned across the political aisle. The Republicans have tried to tie this to the Congresswoman Spanberger, the gubernatorial candidate. She did very quickly denounce them. But it's unclear whether this Attorney General candidate will stay in the race. I think
they're lying. Spanberger did not denounce him. You see how he's doing a cover for? This is what they do. She never condemned it at all. Matter of fact, she doubled down on her support. I had to pause it because it's lies like that that get stuck in people's mind.
Let your rage fuel you. Every time we hear a new story, we let it fuel us. Every time we turn on the news, we let it fuel us. Every time something bad is happening, we say, oh, that's motivation. I'll tell you this, I have an opponent who's incredibly motivating.
And they believe that she condemned it when she did not. That's what these people do. They interject things that they wish had happened. They wish that she had condemned it. She didn't. But they know that if they spew that to their mindless, low IQ voters, that they'll run around parroting that. When a Republican says, oh, Jay Jones, they're like, well, Spanberger condemned it. Where did she do that? There's no video of it. I heard it on MSNBC or MSDNC.
Stay in the race. I think there's a growing sense that he probably should not. We heard President Trump last night, but even some Democratic leaders, John Hyman, have started to say, like, look, this is inappropriate. You can't, and especially at a time right now with such concern about violent rhetoric and political violence.
Who says that?
Yeah, that this is just way beyond the line.
I would say, not to be
too much on the high horse. It's wildly inappropriate under any circumstances. Today, tomorrow, 10 years ago, 6 months ago. I think the pressure is going to be on Spanberger and for the party to ask this candidate to just quit the race, because just both, it's the right thing, and also the political splashback. You don't want to mess with this right now.
Says that?
Like, the right thing to do is basically this guy should do everyone a favor and step out of the race.
Yeah.
Mika talking about in what context? What difference does it make? Well, how many more contexts can it be when somebody flat out says, hey, this person should get 2 to the head? Hey, yeah, he and his wife are breeding little evil fascists. Yeah, police should be taken down so that they won't go after criminals anymore. The more police that lose their lives, the less civilians lose their lives. Are you insane? And they're acting like, oh, Democrats are just going. No, they're not. Now, check out this segment from Glenn Beck where he's speaking to Jay Jones's opponent, Mayaris. Check out what Jason Mayaris has to say.
But I think probably the most shocking, again, to your point, he was told this was inappropriate. He doubled down, and that's when he, fantasized and wanted to, talked about seeing the children of Todd Gilbert die in the arms of Jennifer Gilbert, his wife. And what's so upsetting for me, Glenn, before I was elected Attorney General, I served in the House of Delegates with Jay and with Todd. He knows Jennifer. He knows Todd's children. At the time that these text messages were sent, they were 2 and 5 years old.
Oh my God.
Todd would bring his kids to the assembly. This was not a hypothetical. This was not an imaginary person. He's met her before. He's met and seen the children on the floor before. For him to say these things, and in his words, when she says, you are talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die, that's what he was texted by his colleague. His response was, yes. I've told you before, only when people feel pain personally do they move on from policy. Glenn, in my office in Richmond, I have a quote from Thomas Jefferson that I see every day when I walk into my office, and it is this: I have never found a difference of opinion in politics, philosophy, or religion as cause to withdraw from a friend. It's just a reminder that even if I disagree with somebody politically, it doesn't mean I'm going to withdraw friendships for them. I can't imagine the mindset that my opponent has, that he may disagree with somebody politically, and he would want to see 2 bullets put in their head and then fantasize about seeing children die in their mother's arms. That is a dark place one must be coming from. And he certainly, I think, in my opinion, is completely disqualified from serving as Attorney General.
Facts. I agree with it 1,000%. At the end of the day, we cannot continue to allow these left-wing radical extremists just get away with spewing BS. And they're lucky. They're lucky that the right, those of us on the right, have not risen up yet and started taking retribution, because how long do they expect us to sit idly by while they bully, beat, spew negative, hate-filled things? Our children have to deal with this type of stuff. Teachers are taking it out on children if they don't agree with the ideology. They're taking it out on them with their grades. They're kicking them out of their classes. They're giving them negative recommendations. Why? Just because they refuse to follow your left-wing radical extremist ideology. And when you got politicians standing at podiums saying this crap, making young future leaders believe it's okay to wish death on somebody that disagrees with you, that's nuts. That's why when you got radical extremist left-wingers like Brandon Johnson running a city like Chicago, where you got young, fatherless, emotional males, because they're not men, they're males, running around shooting each other strictly because somebody said something or somebody looked a certain way or they don't like your shoes, because there was no male there to say, hey, go sit your butt down. Sticks and stones may break your bone, but you get in trouble for some BS like this, I'm gonna knock you out. Yes, I created my own, but young boys need that. They need somebody to say, stop being so soft and go sit down. But at the same time, they do need that mother to kind of rub their back and ease it, or their father to rub their back and ease it. But it's a balance. But when all you're doing is feeding your base extremism, negativity, hatred, then when something happens and they say, oh my God, I don't know what could have done this. Why is everybody blaming the Democrats? Because y'all are the only ones we hear this from. Folks, I have people I disagree with. I was texting with one this morning. He came to my wedding. He was somebody that helped me when I was in high school. He was a coach of mine that made it to where my senior year was great. The scholarships that I got was because this man helped me. And we disagree totally. But I'm so shocked at the fact that people will end a relationship with somebody that they know is a good person, that they know had their back, just because they disagree. If anything, those are the best people, or should I say candidates, that you can help explain stuff to. Maybe they see it different, maybe they don't. Or maybe you just eliminate talking politics at all to maintain the relationship. Our friend, our family member are not the people writing the legislation. Many of them are manipulated by radical people like Jay Jones, who they think is like a beacon of light, when really he's the conductor driving the train to hell. So I just wanted to bring you this. If you still here with me and you watched it, you stayed to the end, I really do appreciate you. And I want to thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.